Hello, my loves. Welcome or welcome back. I hope you've had a good week and are doing okay. Today I have my good old rings planner because I started a Halloween notebook and I'm very excited about it. I, like many of you, have what's the word I'm looking for? Affinity for the spooky, for the gloomy, for Halloween. I'm pretty sure affinity is the right word. If not, I'll put it up on screen what I actually mean. But I know it's August 13th at the moment of me filming this, and probably a couple days later that you're watching this. But I am very excited. And I believe I saw Beatrice from Beatrice's Journal do something like this in a recent video, and I got inspired and created something for myself. So I wanted to show you because I am so excited. I haven't shared this online yet, but I recently got diagnosed with autism. And I believe one of my special interests is Halloween. And so I have been putting a lot of time and energy into this notebook and tracking things and creating bucket lists and kind of trying to romanticize Halloween. The short month that Halloween is, or day. It's a day, but I celebrate it the whole month of October. But yeah, okay. I decided to pull out my rings planner for this because I wanted something I could come back to year after year. And I wanted something that wasn't linear. I didn't want to put everything in with my everything journal, with my life archive. Instead, I wanted it to be its own thing and live on its own. And also be something that I can return to. So yeah, that's why I chose rings. And luckily with my rings experiment a couple years ago, I had a rings binder. This is the personal size or A6 size. I think it's somewhat interchangeable, at least on the seller's website. If I can remember who the seller is of where I got this leather cover from, I will leave it up on screen, but if not, I truly am sorry. But yeah, okay. The first thing I have here is this little bracelet that I made a couple years ago. I just clipped it into the rings here, and it just says boo with like traditional Halloween colors, and it brings me joy and suits the planner. And then I have like a vellum page here, mostly to protect my papers from the leather, because I don't know if you can really see, there is a little bit of leather transfer. But yeah, all the images I found on Pinterest, let me just say that so that I'm not repeating myself. And yeah, I have this image. I pasted it in afterwards, mostly because the other side is scrapbook paper, but most of my pages I like printed and drew up digitally on my iPad and then printed, and then I stuck in stickers and stuff afterwards. And so this is one of the pages that was an afterwards. And it just says Halloween Journal 2026. And then, like I mentioned, this is some scrapbook paper. This is from Michael's a couple years ago. If I'm honest, as much as I love Halloween, I am not the biggest fan of consumerism. And you'll laugh at that when I show you something a little bit later. In general, I use what I have. And so I had this in stash and thought it like matched this image that I found of Over the Garden Wall. I'm not gonna lie, I first watched that show when I was sick with a fever So it was quite literally a fever dream for me. And so this season, I desperately need a rewatch. But the vibes are there. And so yeah, that I have that. And then just another little decoration page with a Megan Rhiannon sticker, and some images from Pinterest and little doodles and stuff. And then we get into my countdown, which actually reminds me, I was a little bit behind, but yeah. I started the countdown on August 1st, and it goes all the way until the 31st of October. This is a Paper Hunt moth, and this is a Megan Rhiannon sticker. I can't remember the font title that I used, but I do know that I used an off black, kind of like a purplish black, because black felt too heavy. It just felt too much for these pages, and I wanted something a little, just a tiny bit whimsier. So yeah, that's what that is. Then I have a Cat Kara sticker here, and the first like proper page is an inventory of all of my decorations. Also, I am using in this planner my Coeco Sport in the color Coconut, and the ink that I'm using is Diamine's 150th anniversary in Burgundy Royale. And it's such a perfect color for this planner. I don't know. The vibe felt right, so that's what I decided with instead of black. I have yet to fill out my wish list. There is like one or two things that I want to get this year. I will say I'm not 100% sold on everything that I have purchased in the past, decor-wise, but I'm trying, okay? I'm trying to be okay with what I have. Anyway, the next page here is my traditions. I don't have too many, just decorating the house, doing a themed craft, watching horror films, dressing up, having a themed cocktail, and handing out candy. And then, of course, going to a Spirit Halloween, which is like my local chain pop-up Halloween store. And yeah, that's basically what my traditions are. I'm hoping to build a couple more this year, but I guess we'll see. I keep it pretty low-key every Halloween, but yeah, this is like my spooky time seasons traditions. And this is another Cat Kara sticker for decoration. And then on the other side is just a visual representation of what my traditions are. All the images are from Pinterest, but yeah, that's that. And then the next page is my summoning square, my spooky season summoning square. I'm a big fan of like a bucket list or a summoning square, as Megan Rhiannon calls it, and that I have adopted the name for. And I thought it would be fun to do one for like September, October. So yeah, I have 12 things. I didn't fill out an entire square just because I, first of all, couldn't think of that many things to do because I'm a very low-key, keep to myself kind of person. And there was another thing, but I forgot. So yeah, I have a Cat Kara sticker here, some Megan Rhiannon stickers, and Paper Hunt moths, just for some decoration. This image is from Pinterest. It's just a ghost staring in a mirror, and I thought that reflected Summoning Square really well. And then on the other side here are just the visual representation of the things that I want to do. I'm a very visual person, if you can't tell. And it also takes up more pages to do a little vision board, a little mood board, if you will. So yeah, that's what I did there. And then the next page is my watch list. This is not complete. but I do have some things that I'm very excited to mostly watch, but also rewatch. So I have this TV sticker from Kat Karras, and then I have, I would say, a good mix of TV series and films. So I have Over the Garden Wall, Wednesday season 2, because my mother and I still have not made our way through the season. I have Brand New Cherry Flavor, Midnight Mass, and then I want to get to the Alien films. I've never seen them, and they seem intriguing. So I think I want to start that this season. Then I want to watch Night Bitch, which I read the book and really enjoyed it. So I don't know. I think that's going to be a pretty campy movie. I have the Netflix version of Frankenstein, Gravity Falls, of course, Get Out, Nosferatu, Trick or Treat, and Scream. If you have any horror recommendations, please let me know. I'm not the biggest fan of rewatching unless it's like a comfort kind of thing. Actually, I'm thinking of rewatching Dark Harvest today, or this weekend at least. So we shall see. Anyway, I have my watch list. More to come. I have space for 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. I have space for 18 different films or TV series, and I have majority of it filled out, but I have 6 left. So, yes. And then we have my playlist, which I'm currently in the process of curating. I've added a bunch of songs. I just need to put them in the right order and see if they actually go well together. But the vibe for the playlist is 70s horror rock, if that makes any sense. That's kind of the vibe. I have a Kat Karras sticker, a Megan Rhiannon sticker, and a Paper Haunt Moth. And then my reading list, I'm still kind of curating. This year, I will 100% read Dracula. That is my goal. I've been saying that for years, but this year I'm reading Dracula. And yeah, this is some Paper Haunt wrapping paper, or like tissue paper that they wrapped my order in ages ago when I got my order. And I have kept it because it's great for little decoration. And then this is where you're going to laugh at me for saying I'm not big into capitalism. Whoops. Because this year I want to make myself a boo basket. I have seen this trend for a couple years now, and I've been intrigued, okay? I've been intrigued. But a few things. I've never had the financial capability to do one. And 2, I haven't had a person to make it for, or to make one for, because no one in my life, in my area, in my life, really feels the same way about Halloween as I do. There is one person, I have a friend, but she's a long distance friend. Shout out to you. And it's not something I can afford to do long distance, just because shipping in Canada is ridiculous. Shipping all over is ridiculous, but yeah, anyway, I am making myself a boo basket. I have gathered a collection of things already, but I don't know, I'm just very excited. And it's like cute little trinkets and snacks and I don't know, stuff that I'll enjoy. So I have some pajamas. I want a plushie, snacks, soap. I've started collecting editions of Frankenstein, apparently. And so I want a copy of that. I have a copy of that. And a new mug, because I love me a spooky mug. And yeah, The last thing is inspired by Megan Rhiannon last year when she was housebound. And she created a For the Notebook list for spooky season. And so I want to be a bit more mindful of what I capture and a bit more memory keeping focused in my notebook. And so I hope creating or curating a list of things like pictures I want to take and things I want to write about and stuff like that will kind of encourage me to be more mindful, and to create spreads that I really like in my notebook. So yeah, that's kind of it. I do have some more personal things in the back of this notebook. So my rings planner hasn't been unused for ages, but it is seldom used. So I wanted to kind of create this and have a little bit of fun. It's really just for fun. I almost forgot it's all just for fun, you know? But yeah, that's my Halloween journal. I'm very excited about it. And yeah, so this is where I'm going to leave you. Thank you all so much for watching and spending your time with me. I hope you're having a good day or night wherever you are in time and space, and I'll talk soon.